And welcome to the Plug Talk Sports live show. This is episode 120 coming to you on this fabulous night in Florida. Brandon's in Central Florida. Me and Janka are down here in South Florida. And apparently, for all of us this time, it's going to be cold. Uh, and I am excited because I'm jealous. Brandon's been getting that cold up there in Central Florida. And finally this time this cold front is gonna affect us down here in South Florida. So I'm a little excited for that when we get into the 50s. There was some pretty bad fog this morning. It was crazy. But anyways, welcome to the Plug Talk Sports live show. Lots of drama to get to tonight. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about it. Been waiting for it all day. If you guys saw the plug of the week, you probably know what this is about. Also, there's some other dramatic stuff that I saw happen over the weekend that I was like, wow, we're going to have to talk about this on Monday night. But anyways, let's get into our plugs and shameless plugs of the week. Last week, I believe we did good first, so we'll go bad. Brandon, the worst thing you saw in this past week?
The worst thing I saw? Oh, that's an easy one. Alvin Kamara is staring down an official who dislocated his knee, broke his fibula, and just about every single bone and ligament you can have in your left leg. Like it was the not saying the worst injury I ever seen on a football field, but probably the worst surprising injury I ever seen on the football field. Just you know what I mean? All over Twitter.
Bro, to be honest, man, I mean I saw the hit like when he fell on him, but like yo, his knee must have been hanging on by a thread at that point.
It was bad, man. And to see the guy again, screaming in pain, just Alvin Kamara with the shades, just and then walking off. Like, come on, man, get the guy check if he's okay. It's just insane, I just think if I'm Kamara, at least give him like a sorry about that, at least.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. At least to go like put your hand on him, be like, "Yo, you good?" or like something like that. But well, I guess he was like, you know what, I need to get back to this game. Janka, what was the worst thing you saw in the past week?
The worst thing, man. I don't know, man. I mean, I've had a pretty good week. Which is not a bad thing to have, but
anything, man. Anything you saw?
Anything I saw? Well, it would have to be, I guess, today. They released a GTA 6 trailer. I liked it, but
okay, the thing is, I was like, "Where's this going?" Because I liked it. What's the bad thing about it?
The thing is, I have to wait till 2025, maybe mid or late 2025 to get the game, and I'm just like, bro, we've been waiting for this for it's gonna be almost a decade now. I think close to a decade for the game, and I'm tired of waiting because if you guys haven't noticed, it is Miami themed, and I got 305 guy. It's lit. It's got Wynwood. It's got MacArthur Causeway. It's got the I-95.
I wonder if it has your restaurant in there, man.
Nah, I doubt it. But it would be cool though. It would be cool.
I'd drive the car right into it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love that restaurant. I'm gonna have to say, I'm sure you guys, Janka, I sent it to you. I think it was like last night or 2 nights ago. Did you guys happen to see Ime Udoka and LeBron James going at it?
Yeah.
Hey, LeBron was offended because he got called the B word. And he pretty much told Ime Udoka, hey, don't use that word so loosely. And Udoka's like, why are you walking over here? You're going to do something about it? And then the referee, like, this is the best part. The referee's in the middle of this conversation like this. And then he's like, I'm going to give Bron a tech, and Udoka, you're going to get ejected. And I'm like, Udoka gets ejected? I mean, give both of them a tech, but ejection? Come on. Like, just after, I understand if it was something really, really, really bad, like, okay. But, like, after just, I'm pretty sure, at least even outside the NBA, let's say NFL, for example, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of worse things that have been said on a field or a court for Udoka to get ejected over that. But man, it was it was interesting. I think people, especially, I'm probably one of them is your brother, Jonka, but all the LeBron lovers went into the archives and started finding LeBron cooking Udoka when Udoka used to play. But yeah, it was terrible, and it was quite comical, to be honest with you. But anyways, let's get into good. Brandon, hit me with your plug of the week.
Yeah, so the plug of the week, for me personally, I mean, it's just got to be the Miami Dolphins. Another dominant victory,
Yeah.
another takeover, another venue. I mean, it's almost like we have 4 straight home games every single time we're on the road nowadays. So currently, right now, number 1 team in the AFC, depending on exactly what happens with the Jaguars and Cincinnati Bengals tonight. Hopefully that stays like that. But Dolphins are back, man. Best record, at least in my lifetime, since 2001.
Yep, currently 21-14. You mentioned Bengals and Jaguars. It's 21-14 Cincinnati in the lead with 5:33 left in the third quarter. Jonka, your plug of the week.
It's gonna have to be. I stopped playing the game for a while. I just got back into it, but the new season of Fortnite.
Okay, hold up. I need to take credit for this before you say anything. Who was the one that got you back into Fortnite? Tell him.
Everybody, he wanted me back in the Fortnite because Fortnite brought the OG map back, and I was like, okay, I'll play it for a month since it was only going to be there for a month. And then the new season came out. I saw the Eminem concert. I saw the whole trailer for the new season. I played the new season. I already got my Victory Royale, unlike someone over here. Yeah, this way. Yeah.
Talking about me?
I got a dub yesterday and I got a dub today, so I'm pretty happy about it. But if you guys haven't played Fortnite yet, the new season, absolutely lit. I implore you to do so. Really good. It's really good.
I think for me, I have now, and Jonka knows, I have the Formula One video game. And let me tell you, it's pretty stressful. You really feel the physical aspects of it. It's, got to learn some of these tracks and the corners and the braking zones and whatnot. And let me tell you, so far in this season, I am Daniel Torres is driving for Ferrari. I've got P1 in Bahrain. Saudi Arabia wasn't my best outing. I had P4, just missed the podium. And then I got P1 in Australia today. So we're starting off the season pretty good. But it's a great video game. I love it. I love Formula One. So having a good time driving for Ferrari. But anyways, let's get into it. Let's get into NFL first, which, by the way, Brandon, the field goal extra point is good, and it is now a tie game, 21-21 between Jacksonville and Cincinnati. So that's going to be interesting. I'll give you guys updates as the game continues. 5:26 left in the third quarter. But speaking of the NFL, let's talk about America's game of the week. The Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. Oh, and I waited all day to get here to tell Brandon, I told you. Brandon sat here and said the Eagles were the best team in the NFL, or at least the NFC. And I told him, San Francisco's the team. I'm telling you, San Francisco's the team. Now, I will say the Eagles hung with them for a little bit. And then once McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and Brock Purdy got going, and let me tell you, if you didn't see this game, it was chippy. The freaking, what's this guy's name? The head of security got thrown out from the Eagles. And this reminded me of the time in the MLS when the Philadelphia Union's athletic trainer got a red card and thrown out of the game. But yeah, their head of security got thrown out. Greenlaw from San Francisco got thrown out of the game. It was a very interesting but yet chippy game. And then once, like I said, Purdy, McCaffrey, Deebo, once they got going, it was an absolute demolishment of Philadelphia in their home stadium. When clock hit 0, Lincoln Financial Field was already dead empty. Everyone went for the exits. look, me as a Cowboys fan, I wanted San Francisco to win because this now sets me up nicely for Sunday Night Football. AT&T Stadium, my Cowboys have a chance to beat the Eagles, and if we beat them, we take control of the NFC East. So I really appreciated that. Thank you, San Francisco. But San Francisco really is the best team. I think when Jonka said it best. When San Francisco is healthy, they really are the best team in football, and we saw why. They destroyed the Cowboys, and now they destroyed the Eagles at home. It was really impressive, and I must say, for all those Eagles fans out there who make fun of us Cowboys fans for getting destroyed by San Francisco, welcome to the boat, because you guys got annihilated and in your home stadium. So you know what? I'm happy it didn't happen at AT&T, but in your face.
I mean, no words, really. There's really no words to it. Again, I still don't believe in Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers, even though, of course, McCaffrey is having one of those MVP. Still, yes.
Bro, come on, man.
Jonko, remember, this is the guy that said Kyler Murray was going to have a breakout year.
When he comes back and he's having, he's turning the page around. I mean, again, they stole a win in Steel City the other week. So I'm just saying, give the Cardinals some slack. But for the sense of just, the best team out of the NFC, and again, I said before, if somebody was to beat the Eagles, and then I would probably have a little more consideration. But before then, the top quarterbacks to ever beat Jalen Hurts in the past few games, two seasons, it's been kind of nobody quarterbacks, and a lot of it is coming around to have a team. Christian McCaffrey is having a hell of a season, probably an MVP type of season, I would have to say, of a running back position. And it wasn't just, the offense going at it, but the defense. I mean, just in general, Jalen Hurts couldn't really pass the ball anywhere or even find anything open. So it does open a little bit more of a hole of, can this team and Jalen Hurts be able to move down on elite defenses in the NFC? So that's one of the biggest takeaways I take from this win for the 49ers. But when I go out of the way and say San Francisco is the best team in the NFL, in the NFC, as of right now, I think the next 2 to 3 weeks we might know. As you said before, Cowboys going against going against Philadelphia later on. I mean, that's going to be a matchup where, again, if the Cowboys win, take over the division, Philadelphia's going to be running from behind. But Philadelphia, they could easily climb back into it. So it's a team that not the best type of night for them. But it's not going to be something suspected every single time they go against a matchup like San Fran or any other contender that is.
Jonka, what do you think?
Listen, I had a feeling that I didn't know which way it was going to lean. I was telling Daniel, I just didn't know what way it was going to go. It was going to either blow out Eagles or blow out 49ers, and I didn't know which one was going to happen. I just knew there was going to be a blowout. One team was just going to be not there that day, and it looked like the Eagles were not there that day. And I have something to say about the Eagles, bro. And it's about Jalen Hurts. Buddy, stop using your legs. I understand when you're in a sticky situation, you're getting pressured. Okay, then, you need to run or throw the ball away. But he uses his legs way too much. And it feels like the offense or his head coach doesn't trust him throwing the ball. Bro, you got AJ Brown. You got Devontae Smith. I know Goddard didn't play yesterday.
Who, by the way, got absolutely rocked.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure. I forgot who else he has. They're still talented too. You got two studs on both ends of wide receiver 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You should be scoring touchdowns more than what you got yesterday.
You got Swift,
he got rocked too.
Yeah, he did.
But come on, you got Gainwell, you got Swift, you got Devontae Smith, you got AJ Brown. Bro,
Boston Scott.
Okay, yeah, Boston Scott. Whenever, let's say they get to the red zone, I feel like they run it with Jalen Hurts more than they do the running backs. It's bro, why are you gonna have 3 backup running backs if you're just gonna give it to Hurts for him to run it in? It feels like they have no trust in the actual team he plays for. I'm just like a little bit ticked off about it, bro. Like when you have a running back and you're like 2 yards away, you're not gonna put your star quarterback to run it in. I understand that he's a running quarterback and he likes to run it, but like, buddy, like give it to your running back, run that shit in. Excuse my language, but like run it damn in and get the touchdown. Don't put yourself in harm's way because you know if one in any moment in a football game you get rocked, you could be out for weeks.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna put that out for the Eagles out there. Stop running it with Hurts. Stop taking the option. Let them pass more. I feel like they like that first drive down the field. They did the same play 4 times. They went down the field, inside slant, inside slant, inside slant. Boom, 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 boom. They got down the field. They didn't get the touchdown, but you got easy field goal, 3 points right there. Boom. All of a sudden, they just stopped doing that. They just for the rest of the game, they just stopped doing that. I'm like, bro.
Did you guys happen to see Jalen Carter crying on the sidelines? I was like, bro, I know it was bad, but it's just a regular season game. Come on now. What are we doing here?
I'm gonna tell you right now. Right now, this is it. If the Eagles don't play at least well against the Cowboys this weekend, they will not win the division. They will not win the division. If they lose this game, but if they lose badly, they will not win the division. But if they lose in a close game, they have a chance because the last 4 games are against the Seahawks, Giants, Cardinals, Giants. So the last 3 games are basically easy games.
I will say the Cowboys
schedule screw them up.
The Cowboys schedule is very difficult after the Philadelphia.
It's going to be tough. Yeah. But if the Cowboys can take that lead, that gives them like a little bit of a cushion. But that's what I'm saying, because that Seahawks game is a trap game for the Eagles. If the Seahawks can pull that off, that gets the NFC East title.
I will say right now as an update, Cincinnati tried to do a flea flicker, and Boyd was the one with the ball in his hands, and he threw an interception, and Jacksonville got to the 1, and it was a QB sneak. Trevor Lawrence takes it in for a touchdown, so now Jacksonville is up on Cincinnati. So turn of events there with the Jaguars and Bengals. Let's move on to another game in the NFL. I have to say Cowboys and Seahawks on Thursday night. Man, what a heck of a game you guys watched this one. It was back and forth. Me and Jonko watched it together. It was all the way to the end. And I will say happily here on this show tonight that I think right now Dak Prescott is the MVP of the NFL with the way that he is playing. The man is playing very good right now. Very high quality football. Yeah, hold up.
I see Brendan smirking.
No. It's a good. It's an idea. It's
say it with your chest, man. Say it.
Look, I think Dak Prescott is definitely having a great year as well. That with the Dallas Cowboys offense, especially in this later part of this season. But as I mentioned before with San Fran, McCaffrey, I just think there's just no way. There's no way with McCaffrey and then as well with other quarterbacks around the league, especially in the AFC. Do you know that Baltimore, Jacksonville, the Dolphins are all basically right there with the AFC, like first seed?
I'm sorry. I'd take Dak Prescott over Tua Tagovailoa.
Maybe so, but I'm just saying. You also have, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence having a hell of a year. Not saying it's MVP year, of course, but in the sense of, like, again, for me, it's got to be McCaffrey. Without McCaffrey, San Fran looks like nothing else but the bottom of the barrel. But then with McCaffrey, you got yourself a contender. So that's what I feel like. And I'm not saying that Dak is the offense or without him, the Cowboys won't be able to compete. But MVP-wise, McCaffrey is that guy. I mean, you saw some of the videos they would have bruises after games all around, bleeding while he sleeps. I mean, that's just a different breed of man. That's a whole different athlete, if you ask me. But again, it's a good argument. It is. Not trying to laugh at it, but in a world where Dak Prescott is the MVP in the NFL, I don't know if I'll be alive to see that, to be real with you. I don't know if I'll be alive to see that.
I like McCaffrey, but I don't know if he's more important than Debo. I think Debo is just a little bit more important because he does a little bit of everything. Like you could put him at running back, you could put him, as fullback. You can put him at wide receiver, tight end. Like bro, he's just that guy. And I
Yeah.
feel like he's so versatile that I think he's more important than McCaffrey. But yeah, I can see why you would say McCaffrey for MVP.
I
But
just think
Dak is on a tear right now. So
he is, and I think that he has improved so much from last year to this year, and what he did against the Seahawks. And I'm telling you honestly, I haven't seen Dak do that in his career. Like a late game comeback, I have not seen Dak do that in his career. So for him to step up and go on that like 2-minute drive and to win the game, that was very impressive. I have not seen him do that in his career. I think right now he's playing on another level. But obviously he's got a couple games where he needs to continue to prove himself. I think next week will be another game where he needs to show up. Obviously against Miami, against Buffalo, those will be games where Dak needs to show up and continue to prove himself. But for right now, I think it's a good argument. I think he's up there. I think he's up there for sure. But it is a good argument, and that was a good team win for the Cowboys over the Seahawks, and continued to put pressure on the Eagles.
speaking
Let's
on
talk
the Eagles,
about Wabben.
the Eagles did sign today
Shaq
Shaquille
Leonard. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that's a good defensive pickup. They needed that because after what happened this weekend, but
Woo! Let's
they,
talk about the end of the Chiefs and Packers yesterday. The Packers upset the Chiefs. Packers are now in a wild card spot, and let me tell you, there was a question, like some questionable calls at the end of that game. I posted it on my Instagram story. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I was just watching the game because it's football and I wanted to watch. But I am getting sick and tired that good games are getting ruined by conclusions made by referees. I mean, it was obvious passing interference at the end, and it was unfortunate, but it came down to Hail Mary for Mahomes trying to chug it up there, and then Travis Kelce tried to get open, but it didn't work, and the Packers upset the Chiefs. But finally, on this NFL topic, Brandon, talk to us about the Dolphins and the Commanders.
Yeah, so if you haven't noticed, my camera angle is a little bit different. I'm doing it from the phone. I have some issues with the laptop. So unfortunately, I don't have the final score on me, but I can tell you with a certain fact, it was a dominant performance on both sides of the ball. I mean, we're talking about Van Ginkel pick 6 off the jump from the D-line. We're talking about Tyreek Hill getting away from everybody just like a regular day in the office. I mean, Jock is showing it right there on the screen, 45-15. I mean, it's weird to say it, but Sam Howell is the next Jameis Winston. I mean, I just got to put it out there. The guy throws interceptions and passes I don't really understand. And frankly, it's just not saying a joke of a quarterback because, again, he's an NFL quarterback. But, man, FedEx Field, I mean, that box-shaped, whatever you want to call Papier-Mâché Stadium, I mean, it was rocking aqua and blue the entire way. The way that I opened up this podcast, I still have that same energy. The Dolphins are the real deal. Tua Tagovailoa having a touchdown every single game this season. And I will say it, I don't care, man. I don't care. It's a whole team. A-Chain came back a little bit. I mean, and again, he might go back and forth nonstop.
I can't wait to hear what Jonka's gonna say, man. I can't wait.
Look, I'm not saying anything negative or anything like that, but after his Sunday watching his Patriots football, it'll be really hard. It'll be really hard to hear some Dolphin trash talk. But what I would say is this. Again, not the best competition from the NFC in the Commanders, but the defense was A1, and this is without Phillip. I mean, this is even after injury, they're still able to make some things happen. And again, not the best competition, but 45 points against an NFL team alone is as impressive as the Super Bowl, who now the Miami Dolphins are, at least in the AFC wise, the favorites to go to the Super Bowl.
Jonka, I want to stir the pot right now so bad. Jonka, just let them know how many Super Bowl rings you guys have.
6.
Favorites in the AFC. Wow.
Listen,
statistically,
until the damn Miami Dolphins can beat a team over 500, then you can talk to me. And second of all, you're gonna say that they're favorites to make the Super Bowl or to go far in the playoffs. Listen, let me just tell you something. If you have a quarterback that has to bomb it to Tyreek for over 50 yards for each of those passes for a touchdown against the Commanders, bro.
Hey, at the end of the
Two
day, he's getting the
bombs to
passes
Tyreek.
done.
Listen,
And
all
again,
they're
I'm
doing is
saying
stat padding.
statistically, though.
All they're doing is stat padding, bro. They know they were going up against a trash team and say, "Hey, Tyreek, bro, you want to go for 200, bro? Yeah, don't worry, I got you. Boom, boom. Empty calories, bro. Empty calories. It's like if I ate a salad and then threw up after, bro. What is that? It makes no sense. This game was a wash. Why even schedule this game in the first place, bro? Like, give me some real what's your next game? The Titans. Oh, that's another wash. Here we
Hey,
go.
I just want to add in there that I actually do know Sam Howell's cousin, and yeah, I when I
Come
first
at me, bro.
when I first met her, I was like, hey man, like I'm a Cowboys fan, like I'm sorry, but anyway, John, continue on, please. I'm enjoying this.
This coming week, they play the Titans, who are 4-8. W for the Dolphins. Easy. Then they play the Jets, who are also 4-8. That's another easy game. Then they go on to play on Noche Buena against the Cowboys. That's gonna be their first real match defensively. Let's see how that offense looks. If they can dominate the Cowboys defense, then I will
Hey,
agree with
yeah,
you.
I'm telling you, Brandon, my boy Micah Parsons, he's coming. He is coming to get Tua.
And
I doubt it
then they go on
heavily.
to play the second
You,
last.
wait, you what? You what?
I doubt it heavily, man. Heavily.
You thought that Micah Parsons gonna get to Tua?
Look, the same thing I told Jonka a few weeks before.
my
Like, I understand the whole Tyreek Hill thing. You know, again, it's the same thing with Jerry Rice and Joe Montana and everything, Steve Young. But, I mean, the Dolphins got a good team. The O-line's acting up differently than they have in past years. The running backs are out of the roof, probably the best in the division right now in the AFC East. If you look at the Miami Dolphins, and yes, I understand with the Phillips injury, it's hard to argue. You can say whatever you want about matchups, but frankly, this isn't the ACC. This is the NFL, all right? The wins matter.
Oh man, I
So,
can't wait.
The last
December
3 weeks,
24th.
the
I
last
can't wait.
3 weeks, it's the Cowboys, then the Baltimore Ravens, which I'm definitely gonna watch that game.
Jaka, I want you to be honest with me. Do you think Micah Parsons is gonna get to Tua?
The real question is how many times?
dog, ain't no way.
Oh my God.
Because we all know Tua got no legs. He can't run. He's as slow as a fox.
No, but he got the fakes, though. He had that one little fake with
Yeah, and then
We're talking about right now. We're talking about champion for defensive player of the year.
He has that fake, but then he also has.
Oh my gosh, bro. Come on. But I'm telling you, though, Dolphins, I mean, they look like the best team in the league Sunday. And again, I know it's the Commanders, but they looked insane.
Look, even if let's say the Dolphins do lose against the Cowboys, if that game can be a high scoring game, if the Dolphins can score highly on the Cowboys, then maybe I'll start to believe you a little bit more. Because if you can score on the Cowboys defense, then I'll believe you. But the defense is gonna have to step up a little bit against CD Lamb. I gotta see what happens on that game. That game specifically.
Hey, they got Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard ready to go, man. They got them ready to go. That's gonna be a good game, though.
I need to see it because when it comes to competition, even from last year, they suck against actual competition. That's what I'm saying for right now. The Dolphins are still in danger.
Okay. I look. I think the Dolphins are a good team. I think they are a good team, but I have to agree with a little bit of what Jonka has said. And also, again, man, I can't wait for December 24th because I cannot believe the fact that you think that Micah Parsons.
Hey, I'm just saying, man, we live in an NFL where the AFC has the Buffalo Bills not even getting close to the division right now. So I'm just saying it's a different time. It's a different time. This is the best Dolphins team of my lifetime, the best Dolphins team in the past 20 years. This is different.
The Bills can still make the playoffs.
No, I mean, yeah, but I'm talking about like division-wise. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
yeah. But like Imagine Dolphins and Bills first round.
Oh, in Miami? I gotta be there to see that. The
Hey.
Skylar Thompson revenge game, man. I gotta be there to see that.
Hey, I'm telling you, Buffalo's not good, but Buffalo can shock some people. They can shock some people now.
Oh yeah.
Buffalo only comes out to play from against Miami. That's all.
It's true, bro. Hey, Josh Allen only turns into a goat when he's playing against the Dolphins.
Apparently, man. But not against the Jets, apparently, which makes no sense.
It does.
No sense.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Hey, let's talk about. This is the time. We have reached the moment of the night. College football.
Yeah.
The 4: Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama. They're leaving Georgia and Florida State out. I've seen many people online very upset that Florida State is out. I even saw Florida legislators saying, "Oh, let's make a government law or something, a lawsuit to the college football committee." You saw it in the plug of the week. I will say it again. Yes, you're 13-0. You're ACC champs. But out of the 4 teams that they picked, again, it is unfortunate what happened to Jordan Travis. If they would have had Jordan Travis, I think things would have been different. But we can't go back now and play woulda, shoulda, coulda. We can't do that. This is just the cards they were dealt with. If they would have been picked, I'm sorry, FSU fans, you would have been annihilated in the first game badly. And I don't want to sit at home and watch you guys get annihilated. I want to see a good football game. That's what I want to see. So you still have Georgia in the Orange Bowl, which I heard FSU fans saying, "Oh, we're going to play for that for." I'm like, it's still the Orange Bowl. It's still an important bowl game. Like, if you beat Georgia, then you know what? You just showed the committee that you should have been picked. Which, quite frankly, you know what? I don't think that's going to happen. I think Georgia's going to slaughter them. But again, it's just that's my take on it. I think they were the weakest link of all the teams that they picked. Sorry, FSU. That's just my take.
You know, I was very vocal about this going into the conference championship weeks to a lot of people, saying that if you look at 2017 UCF, what's the biggest difference you've seen from this team in Florida State this season? 2 to 3 AP top 25 ranked wins. My apologies. Top 25 wins from the Knights, and as well that of Florida State, and one of them being a week 1 matchup, which again, anything can happen in week 1. Both sides winning their conference, however, not like very, dominant, right? Florida State throughout this entire season, how many dominant games have they had throughout the year, blowing teams out like Texas or Bama or other ways around for Georgia and whatnot. So, and again, I understand the argument. 13-0 is definitely a feat that not a lot of teams can do in a Power 5 conference, let alone the ACC. But Texas, the only loss they had, Red River rivalry against Oklahoma. Oklahoma in a last-minute drive, able to win that one out. Georgia, their only loss in the SEC championship against Bama. And again, Bama, whose only loss was against Texas. And Bama, that game was also, I believe, the favorites in that one. I mean, there's no way you can look at the committee and say, okay, so the most impressive Florida State win was against LSU, who was top 5 to open up college football season. What rank are they right now, LSU? Are they even ranked right now?
They
Are they?
I'm pretty sure they are.
If not, it's way back, I think, right?
If anything, way back.
13th.
13th. So they drop all the way down to 13th. And then Alabama comes out of nowhere and wins the team that has won 29 straight games in the SEC championship in Atlanta, in Georgia. They beat the Georgia Bulldogs on their home state, home soil in the Mercedes-Benz Dome in the last CBS SEC game. If you ask me, just the wins there, I don't care if it's just a one-loss difference. A one-loss difference isn't enough for the committee to be like, yeah, that's enough. It's not about getting the right guys for the record. It's getting the right guys for the eye look, for the teams, taking in compliance. And yes, even though the committee did admit they took the Jordan Travis thing into consideration, especially with injury for Florida State, even if he was there, I still don't think Florida State does make it into the top 4. Oklahoma beat the living crap out of the Cowboys, Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship. Alabama winning the number 1 team the last week of the season. Those 2 wins alone dominate whatever that happened against Louisville.
And I heard a lot of FSU fans like, "Oh, we beat Florida. That's the second SEC team we beat."
They're
I'm like,
5-7.
Florida was terrible. Terrible.
State, looking down Florida State's schedule, they beat probably like 4 teams to 5 teams that were under 500 for the year.
You struggled against Miami.
Yes, Miami, and if I can also recall, with a backup QB as well. But if also ever recall, I mean, they're struggling against ACC competition. One of their top 3 AP wins was against Duke.
No, but Duke
Duke was good in the ACC, yes, but in the sense of
John, but when you compare it to the other teams,
I know.
Yeah, when you compare it to Texas, what they've done throughout this year, and as well what Alabama, and I understand the argument, Alabama does not have a lot of great wins, but at the end of the year, it's like, holy crap, they beat the number 1 team that looked undefeated the entire season. I mean, who ever thought Georgia was going to lose a game this year? You know what I mean?
No, Brandon, I completely agree with you. We are on the same page on that one, partner. The outrage and the crying from the Florida State fans right now, especially on social media, is way too much. I mean, if anything, Georgia fans should be complaining too. They were number 1 all year. They lose 1 game and they fall out the top 4.
Yeah, drop over to 6.
I don't hear them complaining. I don't. It's just, John, I mean, what do you think? I agree with Brandon.
I personally would have had Georgia at 4. But I can see why they put Alabama at 4. Like, there's different ways you can see it. But like the committee, they're saying, "Oh, we're doing this for the public, and so that we don't, so just for the public's sake, we don't see another blowout from what we saw from TCU last year, right?" Then if you're gonna base it off, you don't want another blowout. And then you're gonna also base it off of what people want to see. I personally would have liked to have seen Georgia defend their title for the 3rd time, because bro, like that would have been like TV. That could have been your story. Like, then can Georgia go for a 3rd straight championship? That would be nice. I personally think, this is just me, that the committee has to ride Nick Saban's butt, because last year they didn't make it. And I was like, damn, are we going to leave Alabama for a 2nd straight year? Alabama just beat Georgia, who's been on number 1 the entire damn season. The game was close. How can you possibly put Georgia at 6? It does not add up. You understand that Florida, if you're going to put Florida State at 5 and not put them in the 4, how can you possibly put Georgia at 6 behind FSU? Like, the math doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Like, that's not adding. So this committee is either bot or something, because I feel like Georgia should have been 4.
No, let me tell you, this committee knows ball. But
I'm
also,
I agree with Brandon.
Yeah, but Jonky, you did make a great point though, because for those people who are saying, "Oh, Florida State should have made it," if Georgia isn't gonna make it, what makes you think Florida State's gonna make it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, that's just the type of way it is. You're looking for the best teams, the most dominant teams throughout the year. And, frankly, it all took the last week. It basically was up to, what? We were talking about like 4 teams are right there on the bubble, and that of Oregon, Texas, Florida State, as well Alabama, who now made it in.
It was practically 1 through 8 that was all 1 game apart.
Exactly. Like, it was that close.
And I'm going to say this too. I told Daniel, I think earlier yesterday, or something, or today, if Michigan doesn't win the championship, or doesn't at least be a runner-up, or at least compete, I never want to see the Michigan Wolverines in a top 4 for the playoffs ever again. I never want to see. I don't care if they go undefeated and they beat every ranked team in the nation. I don't want to see them in a top 4 spot, because they always choke at the end. They always choke. And now with this drama with the head coach, I'm gonna wait and see because they were balling most of the year until that situation happened. I need to see what the situation is now. Are they gonna be motivated? That's like, damn, you suspended our head coach. Are they gonna be motivated by it? We'll see. But if they get blown out, the committee needs to take that into account because if you're gonna take from what happened in TCU last year, you gotta take that into this year. If Michigan loses by a blowout and they play bad, don't include Michigan next year when they go undefeated. When they go basically undefeated again because their division is trash. Besides Ohio State, then I don't want to see them included in the top four. I don't want to see it included. Okay, I just want to say that, put that out there. Remember this. Just remember it. Michigan Wolverines will not be top four next year if they go 13-0 and they get blown out this year.
By the way, update, the Bengals have scored with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It is now 28-28 against the Jaguars. So they're going back and forth here. They are wearing those white helmets, which I personally like. But anyways, back to the college football conversation. Yeah, I saw so many people upset on social media about this. And to be honest, right now, I feel like me and Brandon are the only ones that are on the same page out here because I haven't talked to anybody else that is thinking like us, Brandon. I mean, I don't find it so hard to see, like, yes, there could be an argument, but like, it's not that hard to see when you look at like Alabama or Texas, because FSU's argument, a lot of them were like, oh, we're 2-0 against SEC teams. And I'm like, okay, Alabama's in the SEC and they're 9-0 against other SEC teams. Like,
Yeah.
what does that do for you? Like, it doesn't do anything for me. And they took down the number one team. Like, I'm sorry, like that argument's there. If you take down the number one team, like, I feel like you should be in the top four. Like, and especially if you were one game apart from that top four, and then you go ahead and take down the number one, like, you should be in that top four. Texas, I've been rooting for them since the beginning of the year. I think they had a hell of a year. And I think they deserve to be in there. Washington's had another hell of a year, man. I think me and Brandon were both rooting for Oregon. But they shut us up. They beat Oregon.
Yeah.
And they deserve to be in there. Michigan, yeah. Michigan's the only one where I feel like, yeah, it's sus. They have a trash conference, but you know what? They beat Ohio State, and Ohio State was in the top four at the moment. So you put all those teams and what they have accomplished this year and the teams that they have beat this year compared to FSU's, it's like, okay, the only thing you have going for you is you beat LSU in Florida and you're 13-0 and you won the conference. Like, that's it. I mean, I know Robert Griffin III tweeted out that, that the players played their heart out and they got robbed. And it's not the first time. I mean, look at UCF.
No, I made that example, just to start off my point. And again, with the Knights themselves, it's the exact same vibe with Florida State. Not saying that their schedule was never built to become that of a college football playoff contention team. But when you look at the overall wins, Alabama got the job done. If you win against Georgia, it's more prioritized than a win against LSU or Duke. Yeah. I mean, and that's not even SEC or anything. That's just the team itself. It's not our fault that there was no other ACC teams that was dominating besides maybe Louisville or Duke at the time. It's not our fault. At the end of the day, and it also when you want to think about it as well, Big 12 in Texas, how many Big 12 teams are AP polled compared to that of the ACC? How many of that in the SEC were AP polled throughout the year besides, of course, Alabama, Georgia, who were basically in the top 5, top 8 nonstop, and then, of course, Mizzou, who had an insane year. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Alabama just had a schedule where it kind of fit through, but that's because the competition's fitting through.
Yep. I agree with you. 1,000%. That's Bible right there. I agree with you. Now let's take a look through the bowl games that have finally been established. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, we got Ohio, Georgia Southern. We got the New Orleans Bowl, Jacksonville State, and Louisiana. The Cure Bowl, we have Miami, Ohio, and Appalachian State. New Mexico Bowl, we have New Mexico State and Fresno State. The LA Bowl, we have UCLA and Boise State. The Independence Bowl, we have California and Texas Tech. The famous Toastery Bowl. Some of these bowl games have funny names, but Western Kentucky and Old Dominion. The Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl, UTSA and Marshall. We have the Boca Raton Bowl, Syracuse and South Florida. The Gasparilla Bowl between Georgia Tech and UCF. Birmingham Bowl between Troy and Duke. The Camellia Bowl between Arkansas State and Northern Illinois. The Armed Forces Bowl between James Madison and Air Force. The Potato Bowl, the Idaho Potato Bowl, between Georgia State and Utah State.
The trophy's got to be insane.
Yeah, man. 68 Ventures Bowl, South Alabama and Eastern Michigan. The Las Vegas Bowl between Utah and Northwestern. The Hawaii Bowl, Coastal Carolina and San Jose State. We got the Quick Lane Bowl, Bowling Green and Minnesota. First Responder Bowl, Texas State and Rice. Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Kansas and UNLV. The Military Bowl, Virginia Tech and Tulane. The Duke's Mayo Bowl, North Carolina, West Virginia. This one I think will be interesting. The Holiday Bowl, Louisville against USC.
Caleb Williams won't be playing.
Yeah, but still, it'll be interesting to see how Louisville does. The Texas Bowl will be Texas A&M and Oklahoma State. Fenway Bowl, SMU and Boston College. And then the Pinstripe Bowl, Rutgers against Miami. Jonko, what do you think about that?
I mean, the only thing I know about Rutgers is that they played somewhat well against Ohio State.
But they went 6-6 this year.
And then, like, they're average, but, like, they fought well against Ohio State for a little bit, and then Ohio State just, did their thing. But, like, I know our rookie or our backup, Ja'Cory Brown, is going to be starting.
Yep.
He hasn't played all year. He's been working on his accuracy, but he can run the ball. He's more of a running quarterback, but I don't know what to expect. I really don't know. I'm just surprised that I thought it was going to be like what we thought, either USC or like maybe one of those other like.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Rutgers.
It was USC or Utah. I heard those rumors.
Or Utah. Yeah. I was expecting one of those games. Maybe I would have known more, but like
Rutgers, the Rutgers game was weird. Yeah.
I wouldn't. It's got Yankee Stadium, so hopefully that's a good sign for me because the Yankees fan. But it's a 2:15. Yeah, I just don't know because both teams right now without like a really like main starting quarterback, I don't really know what could happen. Like Miami could easily lose. They don't have a lot of exits out. Tyler Van Dyke is out. Ja'Cory Brown hasn't worked with this offense the entire year, so that's going to be a communication issue with the OC. I really don't know what to say about this game, but I mean, go Canes, I guess.
Let's finish off the bowl games here. This one's called the Pop-Tarts Bowl. NC State, Kansas State, the Alamo Bowl, Arizona and Oklahoma, the Gator Bowl. Yeah, it is going to be a good game. The Gator Bowl, Clemson and Kentucky, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, Oregon State and Notre Dame, the Liberty Bowl, Memphis and Iowa State. The Cotton Bowl this year will be Missouri and Ohio State. That's going to be one heck of a game right there. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Ole Miss and Penn State. Music City Bowl, Auburn and Maryland. The Orange Bowl is going to be Georgia and Florida State. That'll be another good one to watch. The Arizona Bowl will be Toledo and Wyoming. The Relia Quest Bowl, Wisconsin and LSU. The Fiesta Bowl, which was just Liberty against Oregon. That's going to be a massacre. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, Iowa and Tennessee. And then, of course, we have the playoffs, Alabama against Michigan and Texas against Washington. Let's focus on the top four to finish off the topic. Bama, Michigan. Who do you guys got?
Bama.
I think it's not even going to be a little bit close. I think it's going to be Bama by a landslide of 30.
I think Bama's just way too hyped right now. They got the momentum.
Yeah.
Michigan is just stale. Like I
It's just Big
maybe
Ten.
maybe if they would have come off a big win against Iowa, like maybe Iowa would have put up a good fight and they won right at the last quarter. Maybe they would have had the momentum going in. But oh, bro, like Alabama right now is just hyped up. Milrow, Jake, I think was it Jake Milrow?
Yeah, Milrow. Yeah.
He's on some crack right now. He's
Yeah.
hyped up. It's gonna be ugly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Alabama, Texas, and Washington.
I feel very confident in yours. I just think that and again, I understand Washington beating Oregon twice is insane to do in a season. But man, if you were to doubt the Longhorns this year, I feel so sorry for you, man. So sorry for you.
I'm going for Texas.
I'm going for Texas too. Their defense looks nasty. The offense with yours is insane. And let alone, I still do believe that Archie Manning will have a moment in the national championship, and that needs to happen with a win against Washington Huskies. So I do have Texas in that one.
Jonka, we both have Texas. What you got?
Man. Because I'm just I did watch both games. I just saw Texas massacre Oklahoma State. So, and then Washington played a hell of a game against Oregon. Those were back and forth a little bit. Man, if I were to say who's the most, I guess if it's a close game, I might give it to Washington because they've been in more of those games this year than Texas. You know what? I'm gonna go for my boy Big X the plug. I'm gonna go for Texas. Even though I really don't have a preference, but let's go Texas.
Okay. Texas, Alabama national championship. Who are you going for?
Let's go.
We are a Texas house. Whoa!
Hey, let's go. What was that?
What the?
How you do that? What the?
I don't even know what button you press, man. But yeah,
Hey,
Texas.
I didn't do anything. I just did this. I don't know.
Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment on this show. Never a dull moment. Guys, I have some bad news. I have some very bad news. You guys ready to hear this?
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence is being carried off of the field.
No,
In the
bro.
locker room. His own lineman was moving back, and Trevor Lawrence was looking, searching, and his lineman stepped right on his ankle, and his ankle twisted all the way around, and you can see the frustration on Trevor Lawrence's face. He took off his helmet, banged the helmet onto the floor, and literally punched the floor. And he could not walk on his own power and was taken to the locker room with help. The field goal unit came on, and they just missed the field goal. So it remains 28-28. But yeah, terrible news to see right now. Trevor Lawrence, just getting help to the locker room, could not walk on his own power, exiting the game. This can really shift the momentum in the rest of this game. But
it's just a sprain.
It looked very bad. I'm not going to lie. When I saw it, I peeked up and I saw it on instant replay. It looked very bad. Before we have two things just to say before we close off the show. This past week was the UEFA Euro draw, which is happening summer of 2024. So this upcoming summer, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be fun. I think Group B, which I'm gonna read the groups, but Group B for sure, in my opinion, is the group of death. Unfortunate for me in Spain, but here it is. Group A, the host Germany, Hungary, Scotland, and Switzerland.
Okay.
Group B, we have Spain. This is the group of death right here. Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania.
No.
So very tough group right there. Group C is Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. Group D, the first one is a playoff winner that hasn't been determined yet. Then Netherlands, Austria, and France. Group E is Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and a playoff winner. And then finally, Group F is Turkey, a playoff winner, Portugal, and Czech Republic. So those were the groups. Again, Group E, that's the group of death. And then finally, I'll give Brandon the floor to talk about this. Kevin Durant moves to number 10 in all-time scoring. Just give us a little bit in these final minutes about KD.
No, yeah, I mean, Kevin Durant, of course, from what we all know and seen, one of the most prolific offensive scorers in the NBA's modern-day history. Able to do it with the Phoenix Suns, and he's basically been averaging 25 to 22 points per game for Phoenix. And again, we're talking about climbing the ladder, right? Top 10 all-time NBA is definitely a huge feat. But the real question is, where does this leave him going ahead? I mean, of course, this isn't a guy that's looking for like too many accolades, already a couple of championships already under his belt, MVPs under his belt. He's just adding more and more onto it. But the way that Kevin Durant's being, the type of guy he is with Phoenix and the way that offense is run, and I mean, I know we talked about the last podcast.
Yeah.
The West in the NBA, wide open. As crazy as it gets.
Yeah.
As crazy as it gets. So for Kevin Durant to be able to, of course, keep this consistency throughout his entire career, and also because I know we're talking about college football playoffs, the Texas alum was there as well, and I'm pretty sure he is also going to make the trip as well. I'm not confirmed, assuming, but I'm pretty sure he's going to make the trip to see Texas.
Oh, and you can guarantee if Texas makes the national championship, he's definitely going to be there.
He's got to be there. I know he was there when Texas had their most recent men's basketball game. Yep. And also the Longhorns women's basketball beating UConn. That was something to see too. But yeah, I mean, Texas Longhorns all up right now. One of that being Kevin Durant, making it 10th overall in points in his career in the NBA. And it's just something that we always expect out of him. Most prolific scorer I ever seen live. And then probably the most prolific scorer anybody has seen in the modern era.
Jonka, you got anything on KD?
I know right now I'm looking at the points. He's at 27,450. The one is next is Carmelo Anthony at 28,289, which is pretty close. It's like around 800 more. And then Shaquille O'Neal's just a little bit over that one. So if Kevin Durant continues to have a really good season, he could go from 10 to 8 easily. But as of right now, I mean, congratulations for him. Continue to play good. If you can just please eliminate LeBron James from playoffs, you could do that. I think they play tomorrow, the Lakers and the Suns. So I'm definitely watching that game.
I gotta say congrats to KD. You guys know KD's my favorite player, man. I got his OKC shirt. I got his Golden State shirt. I got his Brooklyn shirt. Now I have a Phoenix shirt. I'm not fans of any of those teams. I mean, I'm just a KD guy, and I've seen him in person a couple times playing, and it's incredible to watch. But yeah, I hope he can get to 8 or even get a little bit closer up the ladder, depending on how many years he's got in his career left, and hopefully he can win some more championships, more than 2. I'd like to see that, but we'll see. That's left to be determined. But anyways, that's going to do it for us here tonight, episode 120. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll be back next week for episode 121. And stay tuned for all our social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, to see all of our content. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And again, we really appreciate you guys tuning in and week out and enjoying the show. So good night. Have a great rest of your week.
Board the troops.